Yo, 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 we back in this thing.
Hey, mister, how you doing?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Trying to chill as much as possible. Brown Juice Barbershop back in full effect. How you living, Drake?
I'm living large. It has been a busy week. I was on the phone with one of the major banks in the country
Uh-oh.
that should remain nameless until future, like 4 different calls with 4 different departments. And I was like, do y'all know that each of your department is calling just on this tip of we're moving past diversity and diversity, equity, inclusion conversations, and moving to anti-racist conversation, and need some help pulling in. So it's been that all week long, just constant. Like, hey, we want to talk about this. And I'm all like, I'm here where I've always been. What's up?
Talk about it. You've always been there. You just now seeing me. What's good?
Right. How about you? How you doing?
Things have been good, man. I mean, it's been one of those weeks where it's like I've been showing up and trying to make sure I show up for my folks. And I was tired. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. But marathon continues.
Yeah. It is a marathon, isn't it? It's exhausting too. I think people thought it was a sprint. There's a pop culture. Oh, I'm anti-racist. Thank you. No. There's a whole lot of work involved that we've been doing for years. And you got to catch up and understand it. And that cuts across racial lines too, because this is a new way of having this conversation and dialogue and understanding these experiences. I think people haven't been that in touch with.
Absolutely. It reminds me because I had a little gathering for some of my colleagues, faculty and staff of color on Juneteenth. I had a little Juneteenth power hour.
Nice.
And I was playing the Juneteenth playlist that was curated by title. And on that playlist was a song from The Wiz, Brand New Day, right? And I'm just thinking about it. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new day. Some folks, they really getting real free. They unzipping.
Yeah.
They coming out of their shell. They coming out of their costume. They lifting their mask and they're trying to get it on and popping. I'm here for all of it.
Exactly. You know who's one of the lead singers on that song?
Who?
Come on.
Michael Jackson?
No.
Who?
Luther Vandross.
Oh, I didn't know he was. See, you told me he was right on stuff. I know he sang it too.
Yeah, he's telling it. He's like, can you feel the life? No. That when they start running, it's mostly him. I think he co-wrote it.
Okay.
Don't quote him on that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and take a listen.
Yeah, Luther was all over The Wiz. The Wiz was a moment. And when you think about it, like everybody, and it's amazing that it was directed by white people. Because they still have the control. Oh yeah, they have the control. The producers, directors. Because if you ever get the DVD, you know how they make those making of documentaries. For me, I thought it was a brilliant moment on Diana Ross's part. If anybody has a DVD, go get your bonus features right now and watch the clip. So it's a making of documentary, and it's the director sitting in a chair talking about this fantastic piece we pulled off. And the producer's like, yeah, it's really wonderful. And you see Diana Ross, like kind of walk by like, oh, I know you're recording, and waves and keeps it moving. I was like, do it. Because I was like, it's a moment of like, hi, here are these two gentlemen, yes, who did a great job producing and directing this movie, but I'm Diana Ross and I was not inquiring. I was not asked to be a part of this. I'm the star. Even though I'm 20 years older than the character, I'm still the star of the show.
Ain't that something?
They didn't even like invite her for anything. I was like, what? Oh, wait. And that's the transition we're seeing. What? I'm getting ahead of myself. What you drinking?
Listen, man, I was just about to sit here and listen.
I will come back to it. It's real. It's very real. It's time. The Connie moment is upon us, and it's time to change.
Uh-oh.
Let's come back to that. Let's really, because I want to open my brown, man.
Oh, listen, I'm here. Listen, I'm here for it. And let's do the t-shirts, then the brown, because my t-shirt represents or is part of the brown for me.
Okay.
All right. So I'm rocking. So my Juneteenth purchase, so we woke up, my wife and I, Amanda and I, we woke up, ordered breakfast from a black-owned spot, the Breakfast Boutique in Mount Airy, right? Then we made sure, first of all, we listened to the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, as soon as we woke up. That's how we rose, you know? Did that, talked to our folk, our Black family members, etc. I told you about the Juneteenth Power Hour, but one of the purchases I made, the store that I've shouted out before, and I told them that we're in Brown Juice Barbershop. I said, go take a look.
Nice.
The store called The Movement Philly.
Oh, nice.
And this says, do it for the culture.
Beautiful.
You know, that one says do it for the culture. So that's one of my purchases. One of my purchases that I had to get for my Juneteenth purchase. So yeah, that's what I'm rocking today. Do it for the culture.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you rocking over there?
I'm representing EJI again.
Talk about it.
I am a warrior for justice. Proudly serving in the war. It's this is a shirt that I got on one of my first visits to EJI, the Equal Justice Initiative, down in Montgomery, Alabama, the spot that Brian Stevenson and many others have worked to have us talk about and preserve and look at and honor those who were lynched and lost. We make sure we understand that story to help us not repeat that history, and also to bring forward a story that was not talked about extensively. And it's right here in front of us and it's a part of us, but it's not discussed. And his whole commission, his whole work is all about saying, no, we need to bring this to the forefront and deal with this and move forward and not repeat it. It's kind of ironic that we're having potential lynchings happening right now in this country. You know, I say potential because I just saw something that one of them, the family is saying it actually was a suicide. One of the men hanging from a tree. But the fact that we have that in it's this very moment, it's intense. So yeah, I stay at war. I stay a warrior fighting for justice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotta do it.
And I thank you for your service, brother.
Hey, right on. Thank you for your purchases.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So speaking of doing it for the culture, the brown I'm getting into.
Did you practice that? Because that fits perfectly into the
I didn't practice it. I just seeing the screen. I'm like, okay, that works.
It's perfect. I'm all like, yeah, I'm like, pop.
It's you know what? If I had to do a commercial, I don't know what type of fabric this is, but it's some type of multi-blend or something. But I feel free. I feel like I can go to the gym in this. I feel like I can work it out.
That's how you should feel.
Yes, sir.
You should feel good.
Yes, sir. So doing it for the culture.
Yes.
It's back.
Oh, Uncle Nearest is back. Work it out.
So this is the one that I was going to pop the other time, but I did the other one, which honestly, the other one, that's in my top right now between these two. Now, maybe it's because this one's 1856 and the other one's 1884, if you catch the grip. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the other one. It tastes like freedom to me.
Right,
but
exactly.
It's good, you know? Freedom and honey. So yeah, but no, shout out to Uncle Nearest, shout out to Fawn Weaver, shout out to all the black-owned distilleries and all the bourbon makers out there. Holla at your boys. Holla at us.
For sure. I want to say this though, like hold that bottle up again.
Oh.
You said you hadn't opened it, but it looks like it's been opened and experienced.
See, what I had said was, I ain't opened it last time. But on Juneteenth, you know, I had to take a little sip of both for a little taste test.
I'll give you that. Excellent.
What you sipping on?
I had to, you hit me so hard last week, I had to bring the rock back.
Oh,
I had to bring the Hill Rock back. I was like, I can't show up with nothing else. I had to bring the Hill Rock back.
You about to make me, listen, I don't throw up the dynasty sign, but you about to make me say, it's the rock, holla.
I had to bring it back.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not mad at that.
Happy summer. Today's the first day of summer, my brother. Or was it yesterday?
Yesterday, the solstice, yeah.
Second day of summer. Happy summer.
They should spell solstice S-O-U-L.
Exactly.
Know what I mean?
It's going to keep coming after June 19th. Freedom Month and Freedom Month.
Word. So, today is June 21st, as you just mentioned, which is also Father's Day.
Ah, yes.
So I think it's fitting for a toast for us to give a shout out to all the fathers out there, all the father figures, all the role models, all the folks who are serving, showing up for the youth, taking care of their responsibilities. I want to just have a salute to them.
Yes. A definite salute to them. My mother used to say, anybody could make a baby be a daddy, but not everybody can be a father. So to the fathers, bless their hearts.
Talk about it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, Hill Rock. What's up? How you doing? How you doing, Hill Rock? I missed you. I've been thinking about you. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Work it out. Okay, 1856.
I'm ready.
I think I was saying something earlier about the Connie moment.
Yeah, talk to me about that. What is that, brother?
So, Mr. Gary Chambers of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, went to a meeting, and I guess it was a community school board meeting. They were all talking about namings and historical issues related to race. And, we're in this moment in America where I think a lot of us we tailor our responses in these spaces to make sure we don't upset the community, and we're very gentle. Not brother Chambers. He walked in, got to the stage. He was like, "All right, so Connie," it is, the way he said Connie. When you're on the block and you want somebody at the corner to hear you.
Yes.
You go into that. You just stick it on. You just go into it. Not everybody has that. Not, but when you have it, you have it. I know. I had learned a long time ago that I had it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he used that voice, the outside voice. They called Connie out, who was sitting like a few feet away. So Miss Connie Bernard, during this hearing, she's a school board member. During this hearing, she was shopping, looking for items, and somebody, welcome to 2020, somebody took a picture of that situation. And Mr. Chambers walked up, and he gave them hell. He's like, "We're here to do work. We're here to make things happen. And what do I see? You over there, I got a picture of it. You online shopping." And it's a matter of, like, for me, it's more than somebody being loud and getting mad. That's there, and that's a part of it, and there's no apology for that. But it is the idea of stepping up and saying no more. Like, we've come together to have this meeting to talk about how we can move forward, and we're having this deep conversation about racial issues in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Come on. Louisiana has the highest number of people incarcerated of any sovereignty in the world. Any sovereignty in the world. Kingdom, judicial space, Hamlet, anybody. Louisiana runs it. And the biggest prison in New Orleans is called Magnolia, which is a former plantation. And you drive up and you see, like, men, black and white, but mostly black, in the fields working. When you drive this long country mile to get to the prison, it's intense. And then on horseback with their guns watching them. I'm like, am I in some, like, movie, or what's going on? This is still happening. The conditions are horrible, bad air conditioning, etc. It's Louisiana. So he is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, pushing and fighting, and stepped up and called her out. And I just really respect it. We're seeing this happen around the country in all kinds of ways. People just saying, no more. This leads me to a question. How is the Connie moment manifesting itself in your life?
It's a good question. I would say on Thursday nights, my family and I have a Bible study. I think I alluded to this before. I referenced it before. And this past Thursday was my turn to lead. And one of the things that I was talking about out of the book of Exodus, and I was talking about, Moses and them, the Israelites leaving Egypt, fleeing Pharaoh, trying to get freedom and coming to the Red Sea, etc. Story goes on. But what I've been reflecting on is, in these moments when it seems like our back is against the wall, when it seems like we're getting tired from marching and fighting, and it seems like the needle's not necessarily being moved, or at least not quick enough, or it seems like folks might hear us, but the folks who really need to hear us to make change aren't hearing us, or they don't care about it, or they're trying to change the narrative and say, "You've won, pack up the protests," and things of that nature. What is it that we do? And I believe that the whole notion of speaking truth to power, the whole notion of standing up, showing up, and speaking up, using your voice, not being silent, being bold and being empowered and encouraged to actually call Connie out in front of everybody and not worry. Don't even think about what the consequences might be. Don't even think about what the backlash might be. Do it, because you know it to be true. You know it to be right. So the way that it's showing up in my life is, whether it's an email that gets sent my way, and I'm like, am I going to respond or not? And I think about it. I calibrate it. What makes the most sense? I'm responding. Whether I'm in a meeting and the thing that needs to be addressed, I'm addressing it. Whether it's me posting something on my blog and I'm like, hey, public service announcement, I just need you to know a few things. This is what I'm not. Do X, Y, and Z, get it together, do it for yourself. Because as of now, I've always been in these spaces where, you know, I've had a position to help and really serve people who look like me or come from similar backgrounds. But now I'm in a space and a position that really calls for me to do that. So I'm milking that. And what was being gifted to me by, you know, one of my heads of school was to find a natural prompt. Whenever there's a time where you have something within your spirit or there's something you want to say, there are times when a natural prompt might be the best time for you to exercise your voice, etc. Because sometimes, you know, you might pop off at a certain time and people are not ready to hear that. They're not ready to like receive it. So I find those natural prompts and I pop off because folks need to hear it. It's always been there. It's always been in my spirit, but you weren't ready to hear it. Mm-hmm. And I've tested it out before. But now that it seems like you're ready to hear it, all bets are off. You're going to get this work 100%. So to all the Connies out there, we coming for you. I got words. I've got words. So that's how it's been showing up in my life. And I've been trying to make sure that whenever those moments happen, I use my voice. I stand up. I speak out. And I use my position and the privilege that I do have for power to speak on behalf of other people who don't have the voice or the position and platform that I have. How about you?
I appreciate that. I respect that. Before I come to mine, I'll say a few things that in reaction to what you just shared. One, do you have an LLC yet? You do? Okay, good. Because I was gonna say I got a name for you if you don't have one.
Okay. Oh, listen, I can have a fictitious name.
Hey,
let's do it. Doing business as.
Leave me with that.
What?
Because you use it so well, and it fits. It fits in multiple ways in terms of business you want, business you don't want. Well, leave me with that. You know, I love when you say it because it makes sense. Like, just leave me with that. I don't want to bother that. Or it has a double entendre.
Yes, sir.
Version. So leave me with that LLC. I would love to partner with somebody. This is great.
No doubt.
Right. And then you know, you said something about the notion of speaking truth to power. And I always, whenever I hear that, I have to think about, do you know who first said that phrase?
I want to say it's the Quaker setting.
It's the Quaker setting, but a gentleman said it first.
Okay.
Bayard Rustin.
Okay, there we go.
He was working on a book with a gentleman, and they were coming with an idea, and he was like, yeah, people need to speak truth to power. And the guy was like, oh, that's really great. The white guy, Rustin was like, don't, take it. I need no claim on it. And the guy was like, but it's you. And Rustin was pushed out and ousted so much of various institutions and movements. And finally, I think posthumously, the guy came forward and said, I want you all to know that while I did list truth to power in this one pamphlet, this book, Bayard Rustin came up with that phrase and was the first person to really put it out there and say it, even though he didn't want any attention in his quick way, But there's been power. A lot of people have been saying truth to power, truth to power, truth to power. And it's like, yeah, because that's what this man was talking about in the 50s. Like, we got to speak truth to power. We got to talk about what's happening to us and communicate it and stop being quiet and gentle and letting it just happen to us. That's a whole lot of unlearning to do. It's a whole lot of unlearning to do. A lot of training that's been beaten into us, threatened into us, scared into us. They're back against the wall. So often our back is against the wall and we're like, okay, I'm trying to deal with this. And now it's like, nah, we got to come out. I think Malcolm X was someone who was like, if they put your back against the wall, goodness gracious, if they put your back against the wall, you put their back against the wall. So I think Malcolm was communicating to us. So just thinking about that. Yeah, in terms of my Connie moments, I think I just find a general space of pushing back on certain things, that I've been quiet about. Like, I was in a meeting, we were talking about numbers, and folks said, well, that feels kind of high. And I was like, I'm worth that. And just stopped right there. I was like, I think I'm worth that. I think I'm worth the fee that we're talking about, which was still relatively low in the work. It's been, I got a call from a friend in Portugal. who was like, yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm eating rabbit pate, you know, having a nice bottle of Portuguese wine, and I was thinking about you. And this is my boy, it's my boy. You know, he's like, you know, you've been at this for some 20 years, and I wonder how it feels to hear the world talking about what you've been saying for over 20 years and asking people to consider and do. And now all of a sudden it's like the standard normalized way, and everybody's leading with that, you know? So I'm all for pushing it. I'm all for, we can't let this be a pop culture moment.
No.
This needs to be like Connie-fied deeply, you know, and go out. We can't just say, well, you know, I yelled back at her, so thank you. No. War on injustice. We got to fight it and push for it and not take anything. Don't take no for it. No, just not accept no. Get what we need and push. So I'm seeing it manifested in numerous ways in my existence, which is powerful. And also personally, I don't need to do it to anybody else. Just what I think like and know about me and know my skill set and ability, that's like enough.
That's real. That's real. And for me, I'm glad that you talked about the war on injustice too, because I think there are times when we have to elevate the language so folks understand what we're talking about. So to be honest, I've been in a number of different search committees, and we're talking about who we're going to hire. And honestly, to be real, I'm like, listen, I just want y'all to know where I stand. It will be criminal if we do not hire a person of color. Now, I could have easily said, you know what, I think would be problematic.
Yeah.
I could have said, you know what, I think what we need in this moment is X, Y, and Z. But I wanted to drive home the point. It will be criminal. So I think it's a moment in time where we have to elevate our language so folks really know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Major ratification, major changes have to happen. And it's, you know, the show Cops was canceled, you know, this last week. And folks have been like, oh, you know, we shouldn't, it's just all kinds of stuff. And I saw a little flash across my screen, and it was like, it's not the show, it's the folks behind the show. You know, when you watch movies and television and over the centuries, somebody made that decision for that to be in place and that to happen, and that to get the attention it gets and the money behind it and promoting it. We have to start looking at how the sausage is made, you know, and really think it, because at the end of the day, it ain't like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's a couple hundred making those decisions. They are not used to people unlike them. They are not used to be around people different than them. My friend Effie Brown. Effie is a producer, excuse me, and she's fantastic. Fantastic. And she made a movie called Real Women Have Curves and has like progress on for all kinds of stuff since. And that was her first kickoff. And she did this article in this piece. And I remember there's a show called Green Light. And they did this whole thing the last time it was on. And she was producing a movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and the whole thing. And she got into it with Matt Damon, and the producers. And they all did the like, nope, not gonna fight a black woman on TV, nope. And she was like, no, come on, I can handle it. Like, let's work this out. We're producers, let's work this out. She was put forward as a problematic black woman. She was put forward as troublesome. People identified and felt sadness for Matt Damon. Like, they literally went like away and put themselves in the house. Like, oh, I'm not talking about that. And I was like, this is why we're left out. Because of your individual fear, uncomfortableness, and dishonesty with where you are and how you stand and how you think. Like, this is what it comes down to. It wasn't about if he was loud or wrong or correct or anything. It was about not fighting with a black woman on TV, not fighting with a black woman, period. And think about, in all the spaces, education, finance, everywhere, the literacy world is stepping up saying, there have been white people in control with power that have not felt comfortable with people pushing back on them, asking for equity and justice. They can be the nicest, kindest person. They can be married to people of color. They can be involved with people of color. They can have people of color in their family. but they exist in that white space that they've been pushed into, they're born into, that's about comfort. And the P word comes up, privilege. It's real, where you don't have to deal with the difficulties or the challenges that make you think about who you are and how you show up in this space. Therefore, folks are not hired, folks are not considered, folks look out the room. I know it. I can name hundreds and hundreds of moments I was left out of the room, and it's made me go like, what's wrong with me? What didn't I do? And it's like, no, it had nothing to do with you. Just people cannot handle the idea of having to work with you and deal with you. That's so, I mean, that's like one of the many layers that we're needing to unpack and peel away. And it's amazing to see people be like, I never imagined it was like that. I never knew it was that hard for you. And it's like, well, if you go back and look at the emails I sent to you, the white papers I wrote on the situation, the books that we've published, the movies we've made, the conversations we've had, the conferences, the gatherings, the committees, the meetings, the platforms, it's all been there all the time. And it's unfair that you right now are like, oh, so what you're saying is, you know,
So you raised a number of different excellent points, and there's one that I want to take and ask a question. You talked about the notion of being inside the room, and folks also talk about the notion of having a seat at the table. So when you think about this moment, you think about folks who are opening their eyes, maybe for the very first time, to these issues, and they're realizing that, oh wow, I look to my left, I look to my right, I look in front of me, I look behind me, they all look like me and they white. When you think about this moment in time, one, do you think that folks have such a change of heart and really see the issue so much so that they're going to not invite, but demand that more of us are in these spaces, inside the room, as well as having a seat at the table, not just merely having a seat, but a seat where you're actually playing the poker game. You get dealt in. You're not just watching, you're playing the game. And if that's not the case, if you don't think they're going to demand that we have spaces in there, how do we make sure that we get inside and have a seat at the table and get dealt into this game?
Yeah. Well, this is a great show. Thank you so much.
We have to take a little break.
Have a good time. Have a good day. Yeah. Let me get a little help with that. Get a little energy. Right. I go to a space with some friends who are going ham on the electronic world, posting about things you need to do and questioning the police and the demand for restructure and all this stuff. And I find myself thinking, like, I know y'all and have known y'all. I'm the black person you know. And we don't even have that type of relationship. When it comes down to it. So I wonder if that will change. I want to believe in all of my heart. I want to have the love and this patience and everything. But I don't know, and I don't see how that's going to change for those individuals who seem incapable or unaware that they don't have any meaningful, deep relationships with Black people, which is rooted in the worlds they've constructed and built around them aggressively without even understanding what they're doing. You know, I think, to go back to Effie's story with Matt Damon, I don't think he was like, ooh, scary Black woman. I think it was like, this is what I know that's comfortable. That's not, that could fuck with my money. That could mess with my reputation. I'm not going to do it. But it make me challenge and think about who I am internally. So I think the young kids, younger than us, this whole alpha generation, they're ready for it. They're ready for it. They're like, I don't want to be like y'all on both sides, Black and non-Black people. I'm like, I don't want to be like y'all. Y'all are caught up and y'all apologize and y'all take your time and y'all want to have a committee meeting. I want this to change right now. So so I've been thinking about that exact question deeply and it's hard because there's people that I have love for, and I watch. I'm just like, you don't know no Black people. Can we start there? you don't have any substantial relationship with people that are Black. Let's start there. And some of those folks, I'll take it another level. I've seen some of those superficial relationships, and it's the white dominant experience and way when a person of color comes into the space. Like there's no shifting for like, oh, I'm going to do a little differently. It's like, this is who I am. And you come into it and you behave this way, you're not welcome. You know, I think there's a lot of that with many people. So I want to believe that that will happen and people will shift and change. And this will be more than a pop culture moment. And people will, once the next thing happens and it becomes something eclipses it. We had eclipse last night, by the way. When something comes in and eclipses it, I wonder, will people say, wait, no, this is important also? Or will it just fade away like, oh, well, I was active, I did my tweets, I did my pushing, I read a book, I saw a movie, and I'm saying I'm anti-racist. Will they deconstruct and reconstruct their houses, lives, experiences to truly be the anti-racist person? I want to believe, I have to believe in order to continue on, but I'm cautious in a self-preservation. And coming from a space of self-preservation, I'm cautious.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's deep because I feel like I'm in this moment where I'm like, all right, so you see what the issue is. You see it. And if you're saying you see it, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe you. But then I also want you to show me that you see it. And part of it is, if you really want to show me that you see it, we need radical, drastic change right now. I really don't want to hear about we can't do that right now. I really don't want to hear about, you know what, we'll revisit that after next year. I really don't want to hear about...
Put a pin in it. Let's put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. Put a pin in all that. Because honestly, I'm not here for it. No. I'm not. Because again, there are folks who are, again, benefiting off of the struggle in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
Who are not a part of the culture.
Yes.
And I have an issue with that. And again, I'm not throwing shade. I'm not making any assumptions. I'm not passing any judgment. No value judgment here. But I wonder, I'm just curious, and this is just a question. I wonder, why have I been receiving more friend requests on Facebook from white folks?
Tell it.
I just want to know.
Tell it.
I want to know. And I'm not that engaged in social media until this brown juice barbershop thing started popping and a little bit more activity on the thinking gourd and the creative gourd. I'm not really in these digital streets. Not really. Until these Zoom calls started popping, I'm not in these digital streets. However, I do see that folks who start sending me friend requests are of the Caucasian persuasion, and I just want to know why. I've been here. I've been here. Why are you sending me friend requests now? Are you trying to diversify your friends list? Because your friends network on social media is not the same as diversifying your friends. So I just, you know what? It's just like, there's certain things where I'm like, I need you to show me who you are. Because the things that you're saying and the other movements that you're doing that are not really actual movements of you changing things, that's what it is. My goodness.
It doesn't connect. So I thank you for announcing a division of Leave Me With That. We also have the Leave Me With That doing business as I'm Not With It.
Leave me with that. I'm not with it. Miss me with that.
All of it.
Not today.
Not today.
Put a pin in it.
All of it.
Cancel that. Nah. All that.
And the Freedom Corporation. Yeah, I hear you. I have heard from so many people haven't talked about that. And I've had some like serious and good conversations, and I've gotten some apologies I wasn't expecting, you know, and it's a little bit like, okay, you know, thank you. So how are your kids? How's the job? You know, because it's like, what more can you say? It's appreciated and it's heard, And my mind is like, this is for you. That's for you. I heard you. I acknowledge you. Thank you.
Mm.
What more can I do?
Mm.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been thinking about in this space, and I imagine you can relate to this of what is it? There's our magic word again, self-care, or more about self-advocacy in these spaces. Because a lot is being asked of me. A lot. I was up this morning at 7 a.m. writing a piece. It's Sunday. It's Sunday, and I worked on it last night. Had to get up this morning to get it to an editor. And I'm not mad. I am blessed that this is my existence. I'm blessed. But there's a little bit of like, whew, like this okay, y'all need a lot. Okay. Here's the invoice for that, which has to start happening. So it's a journey. I'm hopeful, but it is quite a journey. Yeah.
No, I'm with you with that, man. I'm with you with that because I feel like, I'm going to say this here, and I'm going to be as delicate as possible, but I feel like the space that I'm in right now, I took my position realizing that I was going to make it what I wanted it to be. And I knew that I had permission to do that. And by permission, I mean partnership and space. Without me having to fear for me losing my job, I knew I can make it what I saw the position needed to be. However, in the wake of recent events, I feel like this position that I'm in is becoming more akin to what folks warned me about, which is putting out fires that I did not start. And I don't want it to move in that direction. It's also a situation where the work has been here. We've been doing it. The resources have been listed. It's been sent out. The conferences have been named.
Yes.
The professional development has been lifted up.
Yes.
It's been happening. But now you have this call, this sense of urgency and immediacy, and you're like, we need it right now. No, it's always been there. You just weren't there. So now here we are. What are we going to do about it? No, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Because if you want we to do something, we need to revisit that conversation about compensation, my brother. So in this spirit, in the spirit of trying to move forward, I just want us to be honest. I just want us to call it what it is. And it's just certain things where I'm just like, I can't rock with that because it seems like it's not coming from a sincere place. It seems like it's coming from a, let's preserve this institution that we have.
Yeah.
Rather than let's dismantle the institutions that got us here in the first place.
Yep.
And it's like, I can't really sit with that. So show me who you are. Because I've seen it, and now it seems like there's some transformation coming. But if that doesn't happen, that's all I'm saying.
I think there's also, in terms of expecting these places to transition and become what they need for us, there's that moment of let's go build our own thing, And I will, and it's a wild example, but I've been mentioning other entertainment folks. For one, Effie's building her own thing, but I ain't hating on Tyler Perry. He went and he pushed and pushed and pushed, made all that stuff my mother, my sister, and them loved, and was like, no, I have an audience, and went with it and ran with it, and I really appreciate it right now, because it's like, yeah, I don't have those problems because I built what I needed it to be, and folks are getting us here to the table. And folks know where the table is, and folks help build the table, and I own the table. So there's room at the table, and that is, content is another conversation. That's a whole other conversation, but the example is there. I so much of my conversation with people who are like, what should I do? Get out of the way. Get out of the way and let people who can do this better than you have a chance at it. Like really, like straight up, just step aside and move and let us do this. Because you messed it up. And people are in pain and hurting. And you need to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. Sometimes you got to have your own. Sometimes you got to build. Sometimes you got to make sure that you are doing it for the culture.
While you're in the war.
While you're in the war. While you are in the war. You just got to do it. So, these are the times that we're in. And we can't let this opportunity pass by without leveraging the hell out of this.
Yeah, we must. In a real intense, deep way.
You know what? Like, honestly, the song that's been in my head is Rihanna's "B Better Have My Money."
Exactly.
And it's like, it just keeps going through my head.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Pay me what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot.
Right. Yeah. Complicated, beautiful, challenging, wonderful, scary, beautiful, difficult moment.
Well, I think we another one.
Mm-hmm.
We got another one.
Another important one on the books.
You got a final toast in mind, brother?
Yeah, you know what? Let's toast all the people that are screaming at the commies. All the people that are saying no more.
Mm-hmm.
And the ancestors that couldn't say it as boldly as we are blessed to be able to say it.
Because of them.
Exactly. So to the ancestors up to what's happening right now, to all those people standing up, fighting for you and me, standing next to us, with us, in front of us, around us, behind us, to all of them. Yeah. Here we go.
Another one. Well,
another one.
Episode, man. Brown Shoes Barbershop.
For sure. Yeah, so good. So good. So deaf, as they say in Atlanta.
Talk about it. Talk about it. So, until next time, keep doing it for the culture.
Right on.
Keep fighting that war on injustice.
We must.
All right, man. I holla.
Take it easy. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Bye.